San Francisco to London.
We're ready to explore the world.
Let's go!
We didn't hook on!
We're leaving the country, everybody, and we're going to... We woke up really early. Today is our last adventure in Turkey, and we are going somewhere really cool. We got the crew here.
Troy.
We're going to the city of Troy.
And we're gonna be sweating to the 80s.
That's right.
Can't do that.
This is what happens when we get a bus all to ourselves. We say the weirdest stuff, do the different dances.
I haven't worked on the top of the seats this trip. Cause we gotta get drinks and we gotta get drinks and we gotta be cool for Troy. We need a maverick.
That's like the best thing ever. We're bringing it strong today. The last adventure, guys. This is our last adventure. Woo! We gotta bring it in strong.
I think the flight home is gonna be an adventure.
That's true. For Jase. Alright, we are at a stop. They have these curfew stops throughout Turkey because they are actually in lockdown. They're checking why he's driving around, which we're tourists and we are allowed to go many places. Yes, here's our passports. We're very fortunate because they really love tourism and tourists to come to a country and support the country. Even during the lockdown, we're allowed to go many places. We just have to show that we are tourists. So we've been through a couple of checkpoints today, and when we were walking around the city of Istanbul yesterday, they would check periodically, usually closer to some of the tourist locations like the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque and the tower and things like that. So quite interesting. We are getting really, really close, but we're coming up to this bridge, which I'll show you. They are actually building it right now, so there's no part where the cars go on. It's just the, I don't even know what that's called. The supports and then the rods or what things?
Cables.
The cables that go across. Look at this. Here, look. There's no road. It's just the support and the cables. And if you look out here, they're building the road. Look at that. Okay, so we're taking a ferry. We are on the European side, and we're going over to the Asian side to Ilium, which is the city of Troy. This tour company that we booked brought us sandwiches. We got a whole bag of goodies in there, and we bring all of our stuff. Is it yummy, you guys?
I haven't even tried it. It looks good. It looks
Gonna have our lunch on our way. We are here, we're ready to walk and go explore the ancient city of Troy. This is our tour guide. He's gonna tell us all about Troy today.
Welcome to Turkey. Welcome to Troy.
Yes. We're learning about all types of Troy, and there is many levels of Troy, of like civilizations that were here and then they got conquered, or you know, there was maybe a fire or flood or different types of things that devastated the city, and then they would rebuild. And so we're seeing these large pots, and they would put the olives in it with the juice, and it would sit there, and then over time it would separate, and they would scoop up the olive oil on top, and then they would get rid of the juice. And then over here there's a little stone, and they would put it in the middle, and there's two separate parts with a canal in the middle, and they put the oil in, and the thicker oil would go up, and then like the thinner oil, which was not as good quality, would go down. And so they would use the thicker oil to eat and to sell, and then thinner oil would be for like their bodies. So this is so interesting, so cool. Lots of history here. Climbing the stairs to see the excavation site of Troy.
All right, guys, so here's the city. This is called Troy 6. This is multiple layers built on top of the old ones that were covered in ash. And if you look at this wall was built first, and then they build the towers to fortify it. So these are all rough cut stones, But look at how much better they were at wall building on these ones. These are all fine cut stones, if you look in there. So this wall came up first once they were fortified. Now the towers, now the towers, now these other towers that came on afterwards.
All right, Troy was by the sea, you can tell, because there is seashells in the dirt, as well as some clay pots. Our tour guide is explaining that a lot of the way that it's stuck helps with the earthquake. So this is an earthquake zone. So the L,
the
L
joint
shape.
right
so
there.
you can see this in that joint. It helps with the movement. These guys were smart. Pretty awesome. All right, they were ingenious with their defenses. So they have two walls that are parallel. This outer gate would be set at one point, and then the next gate would be in an L shape around the other side, so there would not be able to hit it with a battering ram. Is that right?
Battering ram.
Battering ram.
And get speed.
So they would have to come through one gate, turn around the corner before they enter the other gate to limit the amount of people came in during an attack. This is where the gate was. And so you see they'd have to come around this corner, but they didn't have enough space to speed and hit the gate, and it was 4 meters thick, which is a pretty good size.
This is the time of Agamemnon, of Achilles, Paris, Hector, right? The whole story of Troy. This is how thick. This is the wall.
This is the wall.
That's why they had to supposedly use the horse to get in, because ain't nothing breaching that wall.
That's
Spears,
right.
Arrows, nothing.
Here are all these ruins from the Temple of Athena. That is here. Look at this. This is a ceiling. How amazing is that? Look at all of these pieces that have fallen down. Here we have the ruins of Troy, which they call Troy 2 because it is 2,500 BC. Okay, this wall right here behind me is a replica, but they built it to protect the actual wall back there. But this shows you this section down here that's lower are the mud bricks before they've been fired, and then this section up here are the bricks after they've been fired. And then they use a cow dung kind of plaster, which insulates the building as well as keeps the insects away. When it dries, it doesn't smell. So this is the oldest section of Troy, which is 3000 BC, and it is the smallest section, and they estimate 80 meters over to there to 80 meters squared. All right, we are at the entrance of what we call Troy 2, which is the second civilization in Troy, which was about 2500 BC. You can see this is all original stones. This major entrance right here, there would have been a gate, bigger walls, a garden over here, and the garden is where they found the treasure of Troy. All right, and lots of these civilizations were learning and seeing a lot of these amphitheater style buildings. So this one is the theater. You can see the seating and then the stage right here, which is really cool. They have a second one that is for like the politics and where they debate and the scholars in a different section. But this one is for entertainment. All right, we are at the South Gate, which is to believe where the Trojan horse would have entered if it was a real thing. And you can tell because there's these pillars right here, and back in that time, they would have put a big kind of pillar, or if it had lions, kind of sculpture to symbolize this is the main entrance of the city. But you can see this is actually kind of small. Like, I think you could fit a small car, but I'm not sure if you could fit a giant horse through this entrance area, because this is the main entrance city here, or steps, and the road. Our last adventure was to see Troy. We came, we conquered. Now we take a ferry to a bus, take a 4-hour bus ride back to Istanbul, sleep for 2 or 3 hours, wake up at 1 a.m., catch a 4 a.m. flight, and fly 4 airplanes, 4 stops to get home to our kids at midnight and surprise them with some awesome goodies that we bought here. So here goes to an adventure of traveling home. All right, we have been driving and driving and driving and driving and driving and driving. We're in the bus driving. Oh, okay. So to pass more of our time, we're gonna record a podcast with the Shae Show.
It's happening on the Shae Show.
Totally. It's even better. It's even better in person. It's better in person.